Greetings. This is the Preshow podcast. We recorded 3 hours of non-canon yap, and we've decided to make it available for everyone to listen, as we were talking about everything from gaming to live streaming and many other weird stuff in between. So please do enjoy, and we'll see you on the next one. I like live work. I've always found live work to be more fun.
Well, sure, it's fun, but working with an international group, timing was kind of a pain in the ass.
Understood.
So,
yeah, that's true. Especially when it's someone like me in the UK.
Yeah. So, I don't know how, entirely obvious it was to someone listening to any of that shit, from the outside, that wasn't, all, recorded as one chunk, but, it fucking worked for me for free,
Aye. I just think live stuff can be better because you know you're on the spot, and it's a bit more of a, you don't think too much before you speak, but you do think a little bit because you don't want to say anything really stupid. I don't know. I just find it fun. Right, what's these other outputs?
It's a lot more exciting if you just don't think at all and say stupid stuff.
As long as the only thing to keep in mind for this is that, unlike most other things, this is a semi-in-character thing. So while we're not going to start talking like we're some sort of space pirate, because that would be ridiculous.
You weren't planning on doing that? I need to change what I was doing. Okay.
No. I used to do the space race, I used to do... No, none of that.
I was going to speak entirely in binary.
No. No, just talk normally, but just try to not use any outside of the game references like mobile phones and, internet, that sort of thing. That's all.
So you're telling me I can't talk about Microsoft Flight Simulator. Got it.
That's correct.
Okay.
One day.
No planes.
6th edition only.
Yeah, that'd be Microsoft Space Simulator. So that'd be quite odd, wouldn't it? Playing that within the game. So you get that could be an Odyssey. So you go to an arcade.
I really wish Microsoft would eat Frontier.
It would be interesting.
I mean, could you imagine the population we'd get if this shit hit Game Pass?
God, yeah.
Oh my god.
They don't need to be on Microsoft. They could just do it on Game Pass anyway. I think that'd be a really good move.
Yeah, I was going to say, does Microsoft even need to own?
They don't.
The game?
They just have to have an agreement. I've thought for years, Frontier.
It'd be great if they did.
On fucking Game Pass.
Do you know what? I actually think they will. I reckon that once Odyssey's up, I reckon they will do that because it makes a lot of sense. In effect, it's an entirely new game. The concept of not playing in a ship doesn't really appeal to me personally, but I can imagine there'd be a lot of people thinking, "Oh, that sounds quite good. I can shoot people."
The fact that
my first alt will be an on-foot character.
Yeah, the fact that they're making it so that you literally don't have to step into a ship or you don't have to play in your ship at all honestly blows my mind. So I'm really curious how that'll work.
My only concern about that is I
traveling.
My ship. I like my ship. I've got a carrier for
I
don't want to use that. But how is it going to benefit me? Is it going to benefit me to get off my ship, go into a station, do stuff, and then go exploring and do stuff, and then come back and then go back on my ship again? Is there going to be a tangible benefit to doing that? That's what I want to know.
I think it'll be.
Don't know.
I think it'll be more of a. In the same way that there is honestly no benefit to me going and doing the combat CG and stuff right now, besides, in-game lore stuff. It's a change of pace compared to, what I would be doing, which would probably be mining if I wanted to be doing the, most credit-efficient thing.
Oh, credits for me are I don't care anymore. I don't
well,
care.
Yeah, you got a carrier. I'm still working on that.
Yeah, well, I cheated a bit, went into the asteroid field and did that whole like mining thing. But the point I think everyone who remembers me, I do exploring. I don't do combat because I can't be asked to dying all the time. It just annoys me. I love the whole idea of exploring, and when we were doing the whole Guardians thing and the whole, going to the Thargoid bases and hoping something might actually come from it. But the idea of even looking for them was fantastic. It's just that was cool, and the idea of actually going to get out your bloody SRV and then walking around on stuff and do it, that could be, awesome. I mean, yes, it's going to be the whole boring thing. You get out your thing and you walk up to a brain tree and you scoop a bit of that and take it back onto your ship, and all the I've got, I'm going to go and set it for credits. That's going to happen, I guess. But I'm just hoping that they're going to be brave enough to actually do what they said they're doing with Odyssey and the lead up to Odyssey, and actually have some like content. This CGs is not content. CGs is an excuse, and I've never liked them. I've never seen the point in them because it's going to happen regardless if I took part or not. It's not like if I take part in the CG to build those stations, that those stations were never going to get built. Of course they were going to get built. There was no question they were going to get built. That was the whole point of it. There's no failure. There's no, we need to go and build this Thargoid super death weapon to get rid of them all. But if we don't do that, then we're going to start losing systems. That's not going to happen because we'll always build the super mega death weapon, because that's just what happens in this game. I just want to see a bit more dynamic content, and like when we as Canonn used to do all the mysteries and stuff like that, we put a hell of a lot of effort into that. And let's be completely honest, it didn't lead anywhere, which I think is the most frustrating thing. It could have
it led to that was it 11 million credits? Or is it 111 million credit mission from Ramtar?
Well, okay, yeah, but again, it's just credits, though, isn't it? I mean, I only just got enough money to get a carrier when I went mining properly. When they brought in the whole new mining thing, that was I quite like. I don't mind the mining now. It's all right. It's a bit of a bind after get bored after a while, but it's still a better way of doing it than it was before.
Yeah,
but it's like I've got this carrier. I've got 6 billion credits plus my ships. What am I doing with them? It's like I've got an entire galaxy to go and explore, but there's nothing to find because we already know that there's nothing out there right now. I mean, if there was anything, right, we'd have found it by now. Let's be honest. There's no way that they would have made it too hard to find.
You get ships to grind to get bigger ships to grind faster.
The trouble is, I've got all the ships. I have all the ships. The only thing I haven't done is all the engineers. I haven't done all of them, but to be completely honest, I don't really care. I've got what I need. I've got a FSD that can go 40 light years in a I've got a federal. I can't speak tonight. What's those big things? Corvette. That's the one.
Yeah.
I've got that with the Guardian booster, and I can do 40 odd light years in that, which is fantastic for a vet. Love it. Awesome ship. I don't need anything else. I've got all the weapons I could possibly want, but I don't need them because I never fight them anyway because I can't be asked to do that because there's no. But the trouble is, I kind of need a point. I mean, I know that Elite is a game where there is no point. The whole point is to make your own thing and do your own thing. But when they bring in storylines, when they have Galnet doing all these different storylines, and then they start making things for you to do in those storylines, you kind of expect some sort of payoff. And it's just like it never happened. It built and built and built. We found all these Thargoid bases, and we built a map to find where they all were, which I thought was staggering. That was a marvelous achievement by the guys who did it. I forget their names now, but they, writing a map system that showed you where every single house. I thought it was awesome, and it didn't. It was like everywhere pointed to that one star system because it was around sphere, and we was like, oh, it's obviously going to happen down there. Was it Merope, wasn't it? And everything's going to happen there. Nothing happened. And I think that really annoyed me. It was like all that effort, all the hours and hours of searching and following the little clues for the little probes that we discovered as well. And all the stuff the amount of hard work that Frontier put into doing it as well. That's the bit that gets me. All those guys who coded that shit in that game.
It is weird how much
detail else.
effort they put into, like all of they had to, for like the Guardians, they had to write all of those like more lore pages for Ramtaw's mission. They had to, they had to model all of the obelisks and make sure that when it generated a site. One thing I will say, amazingly, all of those sites, I never went to one that looked like it was out of place on the surface of a planet. And that blows my mind. Like flying around Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's all sorts of weird, like, even with the pre-made airports, they fixed like 3 of them recently because there were so many terrain issues with them. The fact that Frontier was able to integrate these, half-mile long sites into the surface of rough and random planets is mind-blowing.
Not that you could land on the fuckers.
No. You didn't bring an adder, you're screwed.
No. My poor Corvette just I managed to squeeze into the tiniest little gaps. It was quite fun, but
my crate was too big for the ones I went to.
I used to park orcas in all kinds of crazy places. I don't know what problems people had.
It depends on the site. I mean, there was a site I found that was on the edge of a cliff. Literally, you had the site itself, and then there's like a sheer drop to the left hand side, and you couldn't go up it or anything. If you landed down in the bottom, you weren't going up. I could not find a pathway up. It was amazing how well integrated it was. It just looked like it belonged there. It looked like it'd been there for thousands of years. It was excellent. But it's like I'm saying, all this effort, all the stuff they've done, and it
goes nowhere.
They need to do something with it. My personal guess is that they were working on it, and then something happened, like Planet Zoo, or Jurassic Park. No matter what they say, you can have 100 people working on a game. But that 100 people are only working on maybe the graphics or back code. You haven't got the story developers. You haven't got the people making the stuff happen in the game. Galnet stopping was a clear indication that they needed all hands on deck to go and do something else. There's no way that they just fired them. They were reassigned. No, I've got no problem with that, but I don't know. I just hope that now they've decided to bring it back. They're actually going to do something with all this stuff. I
think they should have had something at least planned. Even if it was low effort, they should have had something like just going in the background.
I think they did. And the reason I think they did is because of squadrons. Not because squadrons are going to be an integral part of the storyline, because that wouldn't be. But something happened to make them scrap the carriers for squadrons and turn them into solo player carriers. Something. Don't know what it was. I don't know if they decided that maybe they needed to do something with Odyssey, or they thought that the carrier...
I'll tell you exactly what it was. Someone who owns a lot of fucking stock threatened to walk because they're solo players and they wanted a carrier.
Who?
They will never say... But that is a major factor in anything they've ever done that has come across as a giant fuck up, is changing it after the beta to cater to a very specific set of fucking people who have a lot of disposable income and are willing to walk the fuck away from this game.
I get you. Yes, I understand that completely. It's not the first time it's happened either. The Engineers is a prime example of that.
The Engineers, the fucking immersion timer. Remember, ship transfers and modules were supposed to be instant to facilitate people actually having fun playing the game. The immersions crowd said, but I want to suffer for 17 hours while this thing makes it across the galaxy. Why don't you? If you don't want to, I'm selling all my stock.
Speaking of that,
and that is exactly what is wrong with this game.
How do you think the space taxi in Odyssey will work? It honestly, like, we could totally have an out of character podcast, probably just ranting about the game.
Let's put it this way: we've been doing this for half an hour.
I mean, like, so the space taxi they're going to be including, they've said next to nothing about it, which makes me kind of concerned.
You said next to nothing about almost everything.
Well, that's a good point, but like,
How is that going to work?
The fact that they've made such an emphasis on you can play this game entirely on foot, which in itself, that's an impressive achievement if they can pull it off. But there's the gameplay issue. And I think there's two major camps for the whole immersion, like the amount of time and the amount of how should I word it? Like time per interaction, I guess. So one of the things that really bothers me about Elite does not bother me about, say, the things I always compare Elite to now, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator. In Euro Truck Simulator, you're constantly at the controls, you're constantly, driving somewhere and steering and, paying attention to the road. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can be doing that if you're, hand flying a VFR route like I enjoy doing sometimes. Or you get up to 2,000 to 10,000 feet, or however high you're going, you slap on autopilot, and your plane just goes. You don't have to interact with it. If you set it up wrong, yes. But your plane will just go with very little interaction from you. All you have to do is occasionally change frequency when, control says you're moving on to whatever, you're moving on to someone else's territory. Change frequency 122.9, and you go 122.9 Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha,
and the IA did that as well.
Yeah, and that in my opinion is also fine, having the bare minimum of interaction, but still going somewhere with it. Elite has the issue for me where let's say I wanted to go from the bubble to Colonia. I have to jump to another system, and that is a 5-second to maybe 1 minute loading time. And then I have to immediately take my controls and immediately make a turn around a star while probably fuel scooping. And then I have to point at the next target and set up that jump, and then I have another wait.
No, I'm with you, absolutely.
It's such an interruptive process.
But I'll tell you what I don't get, and this is what Lars was saying as well, look, how is having an autopilot feature or even an automatic navigation computer that actually plots this for you and jumps for you each time, how is that breaking immersion?
It isn't.
Any possible
It's
way?
not. We could make that today.
Absolutely.
Honestly, there is F-16s today. They have terrain avoidance air-to-ground radar.
It can park in a fucking space station, for God's sake. If it can do that, it can fucking fly around a star.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I've always... And every time it's ever mentioned, you got those twats. And I'm afraid that if you're one of them, I do apologise. However, it annoys the hell out of me when they come up and they say, oh, no, you can't do that because then you're not playing the game. The game's playing you. It's like... What do you think is happening when you're just pointing in a direction, waiting to get to the space station that's 2,000 light seconds away, and you're just sitting there waiting for it to happen? You're not driving it, like you said in
that's the other thing that annoys me is the Super Cruise. Time you spend in Super Cruise is time spent doing literally nothing.
I'm going to swear and say dirty words now.
Okay. I'm bracing.
Bring it on.
Star Citizen.
Now.
Okay.
It's not a game, as we are fully.
I like the concept of it.
I love the concept of Star Citizen. I just don't think it's ever.
It's never going to be realized.
The funny thing is that Elite's going to be more Star Citizen than Star Citizen ever going to be.
Yeah.
But they've got flying right. They've got it absolutely spot on. I love their flying system.
See, I never got to experience it because during their free fly events, my computer was just so far below the minimum, so I just couldn't play it. I was disappointed.
I've had the questionable joy of being one of the very first to actually buy the thing. I bought it when it was first out. I think I got it on Kickstarter.
That's $40 for a ship and access to the game to me that's fine. DCS is charging $80 for the Tomcat. I'm fine with paying just $40 for the game and a ship.
Yeah, $1,000 for a photo is probably not ideal though.
Yeah, no.
I mean, their business model is Well, it shouldn't work.
The business model is bad.
I don't get it. But like I'll tell you what though, like I say, it's too complicated. I think that's their problem with it, to be honest. But when you actually get in the space, you get in your ship, you got to literally climb into your ship, which I think to me is just, why can't we do that on this game? Why can't Elite have that? I want to use the steps that you see on the outside. Or what's that picture for the Sidewinder? It's got a little ramp that comes out.
Yeah, it's got the ramp on the front of the steps or whatever. Or it's got the ramp on the front leg.
You damn well know that in Odyssey you're never going to see any of that. What you're going to do is you're going to get in. You're going to go to the ship menu. You're going to go, I want to board my ship, and it's going to fade to black.
Yeah,
and it's going to fade back in.
It'll be like the SRV.
Yeah, yep. Which is crap, but whatever. But anyway, the flight part of Star Citizen, I think is superb. You basically in the system, you basically point at a point of interest, so either a planet or a star space or a nav point that you've been given by a mission or whatever, and you just push the quantum drive and it just shoots you there. You just fly through quantum space, takes you a few seconds to get there, and that's it. So
fun fact, that's how Elite was originally supposed to be.
I know.
Because
long time ago, and then the twats in the fucking what's that stupid form called, the DDF?
Oh god, that's really loud. I can't.
The DDF was
I don't remember.
Waste of time anyway.
I'm not familiar with that.
The design and the development, was it called development and design forum? I think it was.
I don't remember.
Okay, so alpha backers were given access to that forum, and they were supposed to basically directly interact with FDev to give them what they want, and then FDev would discuss what they think would go in the game, and between the two, they would come up with a working solution to some of the problems that they might find when they're playing the alpha. It did do that for a little while, and then it didn't anymore, because too many people in that forum wanted everything at once, and of course that's never going to happen, ever, in a million years. So eventually Frontier just said, actually, do you know what, we'll just do it our own way. Which is exactly what they did, including what you just said. There's loads of things they were going to do that they were put in, but I just think it's like when you're flying in subspace. What's it called? Super Cruise.
Normal space, or the Super Cruise is to
me that's not even space. That's just like a. Has any of you guys played Star Trek Online?
No.
Not.
All right. So Star Trek Online, I love the game in a way. It's clunky and terrible, but it's still fun to play because you get to shoot other ships. It's great. But imagine this. So I'll take you from one place to another. So you start outside a star base because that's where you usually park up. So you're not in your ship. You only see your ship from the outside. You just like a little picture of it, And then what you do is you want to go from, say, Starbase thing, whatever, and you want to go to, I don't know, Bajor or something, or Deep Space Nine, something like that. So what you do is you press a button and you warp out to sector space, is what they call it. So sector space is basically you're in warp, right?
Okay.
And the idea is it's a stylized version of space, so you don't see it in real time. You see like think of it as a big map. So you basically point your ship in the direction you want to go, and it flies past all these different star systems like really quickly. So it's like you're in warp, which that kind of makes sense, I suppose. You don't get to drop out anywhere. You got to go to a place to go somewhere. So you can't just say, "I'll just drop out here." You got to go to a planet or go to like an event or something, and then you get to that point. You drop out of warp, and then you're in that instance, which is basically the same sort of thing as if you're dropping out of Super Cruise. You're in an instance of space. Apart from in Elite, you can do it any way you want.
Yeah,
but I don't like Super Cruise. I hate it. It looks ridiculous. Why can I see blobs as ships? Why can I even see ships? Ships shouldn't be visible in Super Cruise. They shouldn't exist. You're going much faster than light speed. It does, and when it just feels like you're in a different game. It feels like you're in a different. You're not in
there. There is technically an in-universe explanation for it.
Aye.
I think this is in universe. I've always said this, and people go, "Oh yeah, okay." As far as I can remember, it's meant to be that it serves like two purposes. It's meant to be like you can navigate better, and it helps stave off space madness.
Right.
Oh,
because
the cockpit noise.
Yeah, like cockpit noise is the specific thing that's pointed to stave off space madness.
The long-running unofficial headcanon is, that they tried it before and people went fucking batshit crazy not being able to be situationally aware.
Yeah.
So the cockpit simulates what the fuck would be making noise out there.
Oh, I have that problem with that. I think
that's why
cool.
when you lose atmosphere and your cockpit shatters, all of those noises go away.
I love it. I think it's impressive, especially when you lose your cockpit. I don't find that impressive at all. I hate that. But the noise, the dull noise of nothingness is wonderful. It's freaky as fuck. I hate it, especially when you're in the middle of nowhere and you've just done something stupid like hit a star or something, and you forget to back out of a. And you, I don't know, you damage yourself or something goes wrong. I've actually managed to repair my life support system without realising it was my life support system. I was in the middle of nowhere, went to repair all my modules and actually did my life support. And then I was like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm dying. This can't be good.
That's creepy as hell when you do that.
It's fantastic. And in VR, wow. In VR, you actually panic. It's that good. It really is. So no.
Yeah, I used to run my Vulture with 5A life support and overdone on weapons so that when you put the weapons out, the life support shuts off. So I had 25 minutes of silence to murder whatever I was going to murder. And if I didn't, I deserved death.
Okay, that's
Jesus, that's hardcore mode.
That is Iron Man to the extreme. Very nice. Yes. No, I'll tell you what, I can never, ever, ever, ever fault the audio department for Frontier. They are wizards.
Oh, best
Frontier has, probably
100%.
the best sound design of any dev. And like,
do you know what? Even the very, very first beginning of the music, there's just something about that noise, that crescendo, when it builds up to that crescendo in the front, the elite dangerous icon appears on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, give me chills the first time I've heard that. There's just something good about everything they touch. Even the graphics department, I can't really fault them too much. They do a fantastic job as well. It's just everything about their game is fantastic, apart from the game. I mean,
see,
I'm really
okay,
picky, but
I will say the time immediately before and the time immediately after the fleet carrier update is legitimately some of the most fun I have ever had in this game. And the time before, it's mostly because I was getting back into it and I was, mining with friends. But after the fleet carrier update, when the whole, the icebox, out in Cold 285 was like a big hopping thing.
Yeah.
When low temperature diamond mining was the thing.
Yeah.
And you had all of the people operating fleet carrier taxis out to the cell system and then back. The fact that Frontier didn't organize any of that was entirely player driven, partially because of system chat and partially because of the communities that had already built up in this game. The fact that that just all happened was amazing. And then Frontier broke mining.
Oh, they had to. I can't even not defend them. They
broke it in the wrong way, though. I agree with you. They definitely need to.
It needed broken, but not that bad.
Yeah, what they should have, in my opinion, the way they should have done it is they should have made mining in a system deplete the rings faster.
All right,
in some way.
I want to give you an example of how broken that shit was.
Very.
For trading. Let's see, last season. Must have been the season before. Okay, so that season,
Are you looking at the leaderboard?
Rank.
Oh, yeah. I hit trade elite in like a week, and I wasn't even trying that hard.
Yeah, trade elite's almost a joke.
Well, that's the issue now, is exploration and trade both pay so amazingly well. And combat is just, you're lucky to get a 1 million credit bounty off of a single ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the 529 to 723 season. Church of the Space Cat is roughly 30 people. 10 of us got us into 8th place on trade for the season in 2 weeks of activity.
It was insane.
Compared to CLB, Fatherhood, EXO, fucking all of the other big boys, the fucking couple 100 to 1,000 people groups, like fucking nuts how much money was made. Like, we're looking at, if we go on the same like rough conversion of exploration to trade, I don't know if the score converts out the same way. So double that. Hold on. Type in things.
I mean, I can at least say for exploration, I've been out in the black for about a year and a half at this point, and I got like 10 billion saved up, and I'm a pretty active player. I'm on every day.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what though, exploration, you don't get that for nothing. You have to still have to work your ass off to get the money.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. Scanning planets is not a 5-second job. And
no, it takes fucking forever.
But
96 billion
Jesus
is what this number is. If it's double that is how the score is calculated, like double the cash is the point.
Okay.
Or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The same shit you're dealing with exploration. That's fucking absurd how much 10 people managed to pull out of fucking nothing in 2 weeks.
What were they doing?
Mining.
Just mining. Oh god, yeah, mining is insane. There's too much. I mean, let me put it this way. I decided, no, I'm not getting a carrier because that's a ridiculous amount of money, and I've only got two. How much do I have at that point? No, I had. Let me get this right now. So I had my fully stocked out Corvette, and I had a Conda just sort of like half and half done. That's another ship I was using, and I had about, I think it was about 700 and something million in the bank. That's all I had. That was it. Nothing else. And then I heard about this whole diamond thing. I thought, oh, okay. So I sort of nipped on over there, and I thought, well, let's have a look and see how this works out then. So then I started buying it. Now, I mined properly. I didn't cheat because I didn't know about the egg. I had no clue about the egg. All I heard in chat was about the fucking egg. But I didn't know what they were talking about, and I thought they were just being
me neither.
So I just ignored it, and I carried on mining correctly. I even did core mining because I didn't know that surface mining was a thing still. I did my core mining, and I made a fair few million at a time. And I thought, well, this is going to take a while, but I'll just keep at it. That's no bother. Then, of course, I discovered the surface mining, and I thought, oh, hang on, this looks better. So I started doing that more, and then the yield, well, that changed from maybe a few million to like 40. I was like, this is better. We like this. But I still don't consider that cheating at all. I was still using I was just mining normally. Then, of course, I finally figured out what the egg was all about, and then it all changed. And that's where they went wrong. If they had fixed that egg exploit, which they didn't do for weeks, there would not be this ridiculous number of carriers out there, because it was far too easy. Once you get the hang of it, you could make hundreds of millions at a time. It was ludicrous.
We didn't do the fighter exploit. We did old-fashioned anchoring.
I didn't even know about the fighter
we
exploit.
had someone sitting on Herbert, as we called him. Saint Herbert of the Glittering Holes.
Right.
And we just, ran fucking a train on him and mode switched.
Nice.
You just fucking mode swap. You figure, we got to the point where we figured out where it would respawn us in the ring from next to Herbert.
Oh, okay.
So we just turn down, ping, there he is, go get him. And,
It's essentially the same exploit. It's the same kind of thing.
It was working the same mechanics, just without the stupid fighter.
All they had to do was stop that. That was it. Just stop it. Just make sure that didn't happen. Make the respawn distance massive, because then it would never be a problem.
Yeah,
never be a problem. You could make. They should have made it a lot further away than it was. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know if there's technical reasons. I can't think of any.
See, my issue with what they did.
I hope the trend coming on live.
Is that they killed off gold rushes, which
yes,
like the naturally occurring, like, oh, there's this resource that you can get really well in this system, and the cell system will move. That's the moving part of it. Both parts could be moving, and you could still have naturally occurring gold rushes without people bunkering down in the same place for weeks and weeks on end. You could have proper gold rushes.
Do you want to know why I think it all went wrong for money? The day they killed smuggling at Ragba. Was it Ragba? Ragba? What it's called now?
I don't remember. I never did smuggling.
Right.
Sounds familiar.
Rabigo.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I remember that. I didn't do that.
I
They
miss,
killed that.
I used to fucking haul shit out of Obsidian and make a shit ton of money that way.
Yep, did it as well. Did exactly the same thing. They'd up you there now. The amount of money that they paid for smuggled goods in Obsidian was just right.
Oh, yeah.
A few million. Absolutely.
Yeah, made it worth it at the time.
It was really good as well.
I mean, shit, now I don't get off the pad for more than fucking 5 or 6
Yeah, but
million.
that's the trouble. Inflation's happened without there being an economy. I don't know how they've even managed to achieve that as inflation. It's like, how did that even happen? I can't think of the time when that happened. I can't think of it. But 1 minute, 1 million was like, yeah, well, that's some of that. The next minute, that's like, well, that's nothing. That's not even going to pay my landing bill. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think as well. Carriers should only be for kings.
Oh,
And-
top ranking.
They
Yeah.
should have been
You mean
squad-based
rear admiral
entirely.
and well, yeah, of course they
squad
should
based.
have.
I will kind of disagree because I love my carrier, I have to say. But they really should have made an effort and made smaller carriers. I don't need a big fuck off carrier like I've got now. What the fuck am I going to use that for? But what I would love is a small little carrier with
Yes,
enough
they
little spots
should
for
have
maybe
had
5 or 6
smaller
ships.
ones.
But and I think that's what they should have. Maybe they will do that eventually. They might bring it out at some point. But they've clearly just taken the squadron carrier, thought, do you know what? Actually, we just can't be fucking bothered to do this anymore. Let's just give it to the soloists and they'll be happy. I'm a solo player, by the way. I can't stand elite PvP players. I hate you all. But but I would never say to you either I get my solo carrier or you can all not get anything at all, because I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's the same as these open players who think that everything should be open, should close all the solo bits and all the play groups. Everything should be open so we can shoot them.
I still think Warframe is, as many bad decisions as the devs have made recently, I think it's still a wonderful game. But it, in my opinion, is the almost, they've figured out almost like a group sort of play. And granted, Warframe is PvE only, pretty much, besides Conclave, but that's another stupid thing.
Isn't Warframe mostly negative on Steam?
As far as I know, it's not.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't it? Oh, I thought it was, Warframe VR. That's what I'm thinking of the wrong game.
There's Warframe VR?
Apparently. Look on Steam, mostly negative.
They have a clan system. Right. And there are so many people, and there's so much stuff you need from clans, and you get, so many weapon blueprints and all sorts of things, and you need to be in a clan at some point to progress through the game. But there is nothing stopping you from having a solo clan. And I think that's what they should have done. They should have basically tied carriers to squadrons, but say, if you want your own carrier, you're going to have to be in your own squadron. And you're going to have to fund it entirely yourself. I think that would have been the way to go with it. But I do also want smaller carriers, or like cheaper carriers, because I went from, was it 47 million according to Inara, up to a peak of 2.9 billion. And then I got bored of mining, and then they nerfed mining, so I just haven't gone up from there.
I got my carrier just in time. I have to be honest. I think I carried on mining until I had about 6.5 billion because I wanted to make sure I could get all the toys as well. And then it all stopped, and I stopped, and then I thought, well, I've got my carrier, fantastic. Now what? And at that point, I thought, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna get up and go and play something else. So that's when I left again. I didn't come back until Galnet started again, and I thought, well, maybe this time there's a point in doing it. I don't know. I just hope it does something. I hope something comes from all this.
My biggest economic gripe with Elite right now is the fact that exploration and trade you can make insane money off of with very little investment. Combat, even just PvE, you need to dump so much money into and you get nothing from it.
I agree. And I want to know why exploration.
Yeah.
Explanation. I want to know why exploration isn't distance based. I've never, ever understood that. What is that about? Why can I make this exact same amount of money by scanning next door than I can if I'm across the other side of the galaxy? They should be paying the same, actually. They should be paying exactly the same as they're paying now if I'm scanning in the void. And if I'm scanning next door to the bubble, I should get a quarter at least, or even less of what I got. That's what they should. That's one thing they're doing wrong. It's a ridiculous concept. Why would they give you the same amount of money for someone that's obviously been scanned a squillion times, and yet you're risking your life in the middle of nowhere? You come back and they say, "Well, congratulations, we're going to give you exactly the same amount of money you got if you just scanned it at home." What's the point?
I was basically a similar issue with combat because payout is based off of, in combat zones, payout is based off of the type of ship you kill, I think, as far as I understand it, in which is its own stupid thing. And in terms of bounties I think generate based off of a combination of the ship type and the enemy's skill, which, in my opinion, combat pay should also have some basis in your own combat level. Like, if I'm, going around as a mid-level dangerous, my services are going to be worth far more to whoever is willing to pay compared to a guy in a Cobra Mark III who's mostly harmless.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
It just doesn't make sense. The combat zone payouts make no sense either. An Imperial. I wanted to keep a tally the other day. I forgot to, but I do remember a couple of the numbers. I killed an Eagle and got a credit bond or a voucher, a combat voucher for I want to say about 32,000. Which, Eagle, quick to kill, easy, whatever. I killed an Imperial cutter, and I got a credit bond for, I want to say, like 60,000.
Oh, wow.
I routed a carrier like 3 times over the course of this, and each time, those give you flat rates. The little goals that it gives you in combat zones, those give flat rates that go from 50 to 500,000. Carriers... If you route a carrier...
If you can survive in the combat zone, you should get paid about 10 million.
Exactly. If you route a carrier, which you have to focus your entire effort, all of your weapons, assuming you don't have anything turreted, on shooting those heat vents. While the carrier is shooting you, while enemies are shooting you, you route the carrier, you get 500,000 credits. Flat.
Worthy.
Yeah.
I thought those combat zones, the new ones, they I haven't really tried them yet, but they look almost fun, actually.
It is fun. Combat is... I am enjoying combat. But it feels so unrewarding when, like, I've paid... Let's see where the drop is, because I can see the drop in my credits when I purchased this Corvette. I went from 2.9 billion to about 2.5 billion outfitting this combat Corvette, and then down a little bit lower recently when I changed out some of my weapons. And I have not made that back in any way yet. And I've been... Like, I am going to make... Assuming nothing changes with this CG and the payout happened right now, I would get, like... I think 8 million credits.
I could have made that in a single diamond at one point.
Exactly. That is my issue. I could go out and mine a single asteroid, and I could make that right now. It makes no sense.
I've heard of it. It's just, oh my life. I just can't. It's like, I don't know, combat in Elite. I mean, what's the point? I mean, not just the fact
there isn't.
That it's... No, there's no financial gain. there's not really any gain at all.
Explosions.
Yes,
big
explosions.
It looks cool.
That's
fun,
It's
and
fun.
that's it.
It's fun and shit explodes. That is all. It's the only reason I have just let this guy shoot me and kill me fucking twice, because I'm fucking horrible at fighting people. I just have a good time.
Ship stealing, yes or no?
No.
Yeah.
I personally, so I get attached to my equipment. When
you say ship stealing, I consider it being, you can jump in this ship, steal it, and if you go fucking joyride around in it and blow it up, it's fucking gone. You can then go sell it, whatever. But like, you're not like stealing it permanently from that person.
Yeah.
Right,
I think that is shit.
Yes.
That's what your fucking insurance is for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
If you can insure, here's how the system in my head would be ideal. Of course, not everyone's going to agree with this. If you steal a ship and blow it up, you're paying for damages in some way. You're paying for a percentage of the damages, and the other player's insurance is covering the rest, and they're also paying a percentage of those damages. Of course, will that happen? Probably not. Will we get ship stealing? Probably not.
I can't see it happening. To be honest, I don't think the game itself supports that sort of shit.
No, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work for a lot of reasons. Technical and
you can do it in Star Citizen.
Sociological.
Yeah,
you can do it in Star Citizen. You can literally float out of your ship.
It would be fun. It would be fun. That's the thing here. You got to remember, you have to temper everything that Elite wants to do against the buzzkills.
Yeah.
Because they are out there and they will fucking ruin your shit. They don't have to be fucking in open in PvP to grief your ass. They can just ruin the game.
Yeah. If I could just, if someone stole my ship and I could just pay my rebuy cost and immediately have my ship back, I would be fine with it. I wouldn't care. I would give ships away.
I mean, there's so many things that they could do to make this game better without actually doing a lot to it. Let me stock my carrier how I want with the ships I own. Let me sell this pile of fucking Vipers I have here that I've kitted out all kinds of different stupid fucking ways just to hold power play materials.
Can you imagine that? You fancy a nice new I don't know, Imperial cutter because you're loaded, but you don't want to get one of those basic cutters that you can get for whatever it is, 300 million or something now. I forget the price of it. You want one that's been done. You got the modules. You think fuck it,
the aftermarket cutter.
Yeah. So I come to fly to your carrier, and I see the Mega Larzok Special with cats all over it, and that's going for 2.5 billion. And I said, fuck it, I'll have that. So all the hard work you put into getting that ship, you get a decent payout for it, and I get a nice new ship. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, being able
that's how it should be.
They're at this having a player-driven, especially a ship economy, would be awesome. Or being able to sell pre-engineered modules, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's never going to happen.
And the reason it's never going to happen is because people can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Every single online game in existence that has even the smattering of player economy is ruined in a week. Absolutely ruined because people cheat. They cannot help themselves.
Yeah,
I mean,
the hacked gear. Yeah.
I mean, let's be perfectly honest here. Let's be honest. That diamond mining exploit, which let's be fair, it was an exploit. I'm quite surprised actually that the money wasn't taken off people, but it was an exploit. And if you did that and there was a player market, well, fuck me, you could sell that for money. You could, if you can sell anything for credits, then you can sell it for real cash, and as you do in every other online game in existence. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, Eve did the right thing in a way. They made it part of the game, which I thought was quite clever. But what can you do? I mean, you have to make do with what you've got, I suppose. People like me bitch about Elite all the time. I've bitched about Elite since it came out. Since I've been playing with it for 5-6 years now. Forget now, it's been a ridiculous amount of time.
I've been playing it for about that long too. Yeah.
I remember being in Canonn when I was there, and I remember gloating about how I got my first Conda. Because to me, it was a massive achievement because I put some fucking work into that. And then I got even worse and I got my cutter. I was probably unbearable. I kept showing pictures of my cutter and they were like, yeah, it's lovely, shut the fuck up. But it was it was a massive grind. I mean, good God, getting to Duke was it Duke? Yeah. What a ridiculous grind that is. Insane. And that was before they got rid of the skimmer.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah. You took massacre missions and skimmers counted as ships for whatever faction. So you just take out a bunch of dumbfires and just bomb a base into oblivion.
And when that was gone, you could then do almost a similar thing for the seeking missions. We had to go and find, and you could do like 10 at a time.
Yep, and they would all count towards the same
thing. Oh, that was lovely. I remember those.
I'll be honest, I'm still annoyed that they patched that out because that was legitimately one of the only ways to make money flying like proper combat.
It was what was
that?
The
skimmers and the all of the stacking massacre missions.
Cheating skimmers, yeah, okay. The stacking massacre missions, yes, I use that fairly regularly because I shoot and shit, and just why not?
Well, my other
the skimmer shit, I understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They fucking did that. That was
But people do it because it takes too long.
Yeah,
I mean,
they inherently made all of the ground shit no fucking fun to do alone and impossible to do with people.
Yeah, that's true enough. And it got
have you ever tried to fight a fucking Goliath in an SRV? I have. It's not fun.
Goliath? What's a Goliath?
What's a Goliath?
Big skimmer.
It is a giant shielded tank skimmer with fucking anti-air rockets and a radar jammer.
I didn't know this was a thing.
They're only at big outposts. I think they're massive.
Like the +3 things. They're fucking huge. They're the size of a ship.
Here's a render of them of one in I think Unreal.
Only been able to kill them with plasma accelerators from orbit.
There.
Oh, he disappeared.
Lazak.
Yeah.
There you go. Hello. You cut out for a second there.
I've only been able to kill them with plasma accelerators from orbit.
Okay. Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass.
Do you know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is. It's because you've got nothing but fucking SRVs. That's the problem.
Yeah, the fact that we never got another variant to the SRV or the capability.
I want one with missiles.
Yeah,
tanks. I want a tank.
Goliath by itself, not horrible. The fact that it's also spawning the Seekers and the Skimmers at the same time with turrets is just fucking overkill. Like a ton of the stuff they've designed for the game was with the design intent of there being 3 to 4 stable people in the same instance, and they never moved away from that design philosophy when their technology failed to be able to pull it off.
I also hate people,
and
so I don't. So I don't play with them.
See, but I was listening earlier when you were talking about being primarily a solo player, and I get it, I understand, fuck whatever, but the fact that these things were built and designed for squadrons, and then to have that whole functionality ripped out of them, but not priced out of them. No. They didn't adjust any of the pricing for it, any of the functions for it. It needs a squadron function to be worth a fuck. Someone else needs to be able to plot in a fucking course and say go. If they're not going to give us squadron control options, there needs to be a designated trusted administrator who can do everything that carrier can do except sell the fucker.
Yeah.
I actually have this suspicion that once Odyssey has landed, they'll probably start looking at refining the whole carrier thing.
That would be the only time to do it. They're
hoping the whole game gets refined.
Full bore on Odyssey development right now. I doubt they're going to be really making any other game changes right now.
And I feel like crossplay is coming. Like this whole
I sure
front
hope
end
it
they've
is.
got on it now, there's no reason for that front end to be in existence the way it is without it being able to talk to the different networks.
True.
Yeah.
I just wish they hadn't bothered making Odyssey at all, if I'm honest. They should have just give up and started again.
We'll see, man.
Started again.
We'll see how it goes.
Elite 2.
I would love for them to drop it open source and just let the community go nuts, because
That'd
I
be
know
cool.
damn well this community would do such a better fucking job with this game than the fucking people in charge of it. As long as it stayed open, like,
Yeah.
and like there didn't become like, oh, it's the dev team fucking doing dev team shit. They're, fuck that.
Yeah, but it will.
Will. But like, I mean, if it's structured similar to how Canonn is, we're open. We do everything in public for the most part, other than talking about moderation shit in the back channel.
I don't know. I just Elite is the game that isn't Frontier. Have you guys played Frontier? Elite?
No.
You've never played it.
Wow. This is my first one of these games.
Yeah,
so like I don't have any of the fucking historical baggage that other people my age have with this game.
Frontier Elite 2 is probably the best game ever made in all ever. It is the most ludicrously amazing achievement by a single programmer.
It was made by one person.
Yeah, David Braben.
I thought he had a team working on it. I didn't realize.
As far as I know,
him.
it was just David Braben who made it. Ian Bell wasn't even involved because I think I don't know for certain if I'm right or not, but I'm sure it was a more or less a one-man job. He may have had a small team, I don't know, but I'm sure that's the case. But the game is ridiculous. I mean, have you ever wondered why people keep on about Panther Clippers?
Oh yeah,
that game is the reason why people want Panther Clippers. The Panther Clipper was the most ridiculous ship in existence. It makes a cutter look like a little toy. It had the most gargantuan beam laser I think has ever been made in the game. This beam laser was the size of when it shot. It would have probably enveloped a small moon. It was that big. It was insane. But the game itself was just, oh my word! It had thousands of star systems, all the ones you see today, or thousands of them. Lave and but all the rest of them. I can't remember all their names now. The combat was, well, it was ridiculous. It was difficult. It was really difficult. You had the AI come after you, and you were going to die. It was as simple as that. There's none of this pissing about you get now. These bastards were on your tower. You were like, shit, I better get these off my tower. And you had to fly, and you had to dodge, you had to shoot, and you had to do all the countermeasures and everything else. And then you got missions, you got assassination missions, you got delivery missions, trading missions. You had Thargoids in the game. They were like, you had to find them, and they come after you. They gave you a mission to go and do. It was a ridiculously good game. I played that for God knows how long now. And all this on an Amiga, if you know what they are, on an Amiga 500. I mean, wow!
I think they used one of those in World War II.
Oh no, the Amiga.
That's what Alan Turing broke the code with, I think.
Is that what it was? Oh,
how long have you been in that pod?
Oh, too long. But yeah, I mean, that's why you'll see a lot of people in the forums banging on about the good old days, because Super Cruise was a thing. It was a thing back then, but it was also a dangerous thing because you were still in space. You weren't in an external instance to space. You were still in space. It was still, and if you overshot a planet, you were gone. You just disappeared into the distance. You had to make sure you stopped properly rather than what you do now. You just do a quick turn and you come back again. If you overshot, that was you. That was you off into the sunset. It took you about half a day to turn around and come back.
You got to get used to that gravity break.
Yeah. I mean, you can use it. Was autopilot, of course, because back then autopilot was okay. So you could actually set your nav computer to go where you want it to go, press a button, and just sit back and relax while it took you there.
It's a lot easier to navigate around solid geometric shapes than a full 3D world.
Oh man, I use planets for breaking all the time. Like that's some of the best way to get someone off your ass.
Yeah.
Is full burn at
Yeah.
the far side of a planet and whip.
And then they just go
be extra ballsy, go on the inside and just do a hard hairpin, and boop, that guy
Dink.
smashes into the fucking planet, and you're going to your station.
I love injection slamming people.
I like the sun. The sun's fun. Doing it into a star.
Good times.
It is good times. Like I say, this game, as you said, it's got the potential. It's got masses of potential. It's just been. I mean, why the fuck did they spend a year creating a face maker? What the fuck? Why?
It's ludicrously impressive what they managed to achieve with all. I think that's literally like everything they do is
to too many different groups.
Exactly.
There's the group of old heads who are all traditionalist basement dwellers who have no friends and don't want to go out and participate and play with people.
That's me. That's me.
That's just the stereotype there.
Cheers, bud.
And then there's the rest of us twitching Adderall addicted Xbox players who just want to see shit explode all the fucking time. And
there could be a middle ground. There could be a middle ground.
I feel like I'm in the middle ground. I play in open. I'm pretty much in character for fucking everything I do. So my excuse of I'm batshit crazy and your fucking docking computer is talking shit and it needs to die is a perfectly valid fucking way for me to pull you and shoot you. And I'm a strong proponent of just because you don't understand my motivations doesn't mean they don't exist. As a space mad lunatic, I am under no obligation to give you a fucking monologue as I'm pulling you and trying to gut your shit.
Someone's chaotic neutral.
Yeah, I think it's gone beyond neutral. I argue against that because while that is a perfectly good reason to go and kill as many AI as you like, sometimes. And this is not the fault of you. This is the fault of the game's design. I don't want to particularly get shot up because I've just come back from a 5-year mission into the unknown. And I have a few billions worth of star shots, and you're just going to shoot for fun.
PG
exactly.
But if you're in open,
no. But this is my point.
You are in open.
But I don't think that's a good enough reason. I personally think this game should be open only, but not for the reasons that everyone says. I think the security of certain star systems should be made more like the starting systems.
Well, I'd be down. I'm totally down for there being places where, if you show up and start being an asshole, you're gonna fucking regret it. I'm totally okay with that. I have more deaths than most people I know of in this fucking game. I hear people talking oh man, I got 30. I hit 30. What am I going to fucking do? 30? Shit, dude. I was at 30 in my first week.
But isn't that also a problem?
No.
There's no consequence for death. There's nothing. What happened to
Yeah, sure. But, it's all a matter of how you position and sell it. I'm running with the idea that Pilots Federation is selling immortality for as long as someone can pay for it. The second you're out of that fucking positive balance, you're in a sidewinder. Back to the dredge.
That's a long dredge. If you've been playing the game for 5 years and you suddenly get shot back to a sidewinder, I would turn the game off and not play it again. And that's what Frontier can't afford.
And that's what they need to start doing is giving us worthwhile money.
Oh yeah, I'll completely agree with that.
Give me the license to fucking building.
Oh, there's a whole different subject.
And that cost me $5 billion. Okay. All right, cool. I can now start fucking funneling more money into building this thing into something.
Build a station, build mining necessary facilities, build factories, make things, sell
the whole
things.
Thing. No Man's Sky and fucking Elite need to fuck already and have the perfect space game.
Without the dodgy looking creatures, though, to be fair.
Whatever.
I've seen
those are
walking
part of
penises.
it.
It's not a good thing.
That's part of the experience.
Some of them are pretty funny, man. The skydick whales are some of the best creatures I have ever seen in my life.
No Man's Sky, what a game. What a tragic game.
No,
it's good now.
A fucking great story, dude. You're like, if everyone who puts out a shit game could come back
Absolutely
in a year and a half and do what Hello Games did, it would be a glorious time for gaming.
I wonder what would have happened if Hello Games had released a game now without having any previous game before. This is their first game as it is.
Just as it is, it'd probably be amazing.
I don't understand that game. I've played it to death, and I still don't really get it. What's the point? I mean, again, my trouble. I am old. I'm an old bloke. I've been around for too long. My cynicism drips out of me like water out of a sponge. I don't like games that. I mean, I know the point of the game is to get to the center of the universe, and that's it. Well done, you got to the center of the universe. Congratulations. What's the point? Why do it? I don't know. I tell you, here's a thing, right? When I was a little bit younger, and I still maintain today, if this existed, it would be fantastic, right? Even with Star Wars Squadrons coming out, which is disappointing. Almost good, but it's just something. I don't know. I played it for hours, so I can't complain too much. But I don't know. I want this game where you play as a fighter pilot. You are a fighter pilot. It's an MMO, and it's like Elite, but instead of Elite being all about mining and exploring, it's just death and dying. That's all it's about. And the idea is that you've got maybe 2 or 3 different factions. I don't know how many is a good idea. I've got no clue. And you're both fighting over planets and space and all the shit, all the rest of it. And the idea is that it's all real time. There's no messing about with if you're not there, then time stops. If you're not there, then, well, you're not there. You're asleep. You're somewhere else and wherever. So you're part of a carrier, all right? So you're like a carrier air group. So you're part of a carrier and you're part of a squadron. And on this carrier, there's about 20 or 30 different squadrons, all players, of course, right? And then each squadron has got a squadron leader, which is also a player. And then each what do you call them? I forgot what they're called now. A commander air group, CAG. That's the one, isn't it? And then you got one of them. That's also a player as well. And the idea in my head was that every player would go out and do missions, usually against the other team or whatever. And it's not like a win 30 points and that's the end of the game. No. It's an ongoing war. Never stops. New objectives get added, things happen in the game, stories are made. You got like a development team that keep the story alive, make things happen, that sort of shit. And you progress through the ranks, you get to fly better and better ships, and the more you kill people, the better it is. And then you eventually get to decide if you want to become a commander of some sort. And if you do, then you can have another ship, but you get to do a few more things. All this sort of crap. And I think that would be one of the best games ever made, because that's what everyone wants. They want progression, they want killing, they want a reason to play, and they want it all in real time, and they want consequences for losing.
Here's the issues that I can already see with that,
right.
And I know there would be issues with that. I'm not trying to say that this is a bad idea. I think it's a wonderful idea, but as someone who has had experience with flight sim squadrons and experience with, just out of curiosity, have you ever played PlanetSide 2?
Only once.
It sounds a lot like what you want. You should look into it. But mostly the issue I can see with that, with the operating off of a carrier with other players, it's a great idea, but most flight sim squadrons that operate in extremely organized manners, the big one that jumps to my mind is Air Combat Group, which is big in the IL-2 circle. They do a lot of organized squadron operations and stuff like that against each other mostly.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that most players don't want to be funneled into a military rank, for lack of a better word. Like,
then don't play the game.
Well, so yeah, that is the other thing. This is This is why I think Elite Dangerous needs a military aspect to it. Like, you need to be able to join the military or something and have some sort of progression tied to that. But, like...
But don't forget that would work quite so well because we're immortal and most people aren't. But there's no reason why we couldn't be mercenaries.
Yeah. I mean,
right now they're finally getting the game to the point where we can start doing shit. They put in everything we need to finally build our fucking third-party mission generator. You know, like we've got carriers. We can put things places. We can give rewards. Things are nice. It'd just be fucking even better if FDev would get off their fucking ass and think for half a goddamn fucking second what they'd want out of the game if they were actually playing it.
I think that's the issue with a lot of devs.
Okay, question then. All right. Let's just, this is a hypothetical situation, which may even happen, we never know. Let's just say, right, that the game is exactly as it is now, exactly as it is right now. Everything, let's be fair, it's as safe as houses. I can jump into a solo. I can fly around. Nothing's going to kill me. Nothing. Not a thing. Do you remember the first time that you were hyper addicted?
Vaguely. That's a long time ago.
I've recorded it because it was cool. I loved it. Being hyper addicted for the very first time and having the Thargoid sneak up behind you and looking and scanning a ship, and then you're thinking, what the hell? I mean, I hadn't seen this happening before. Yeah. I'd heard about it. There was rumours of it going on, and I remember I thought I'm going to record this and see what's. I recorded it in VR. I still got my thingy, and it was epic. I mean, my God, the sense of wonder as you know what's going to happen. You wait for it to creep up behind you. You see it coming from the corner of your vision, this massive fucking ship, and you think, "Oh fuck!" It was great. That was awesome. But anyway, so apart from that, though, you're safe, aren't you? You're never going to get killed. Mm-hmm. The pirates are pathetic. There's just not even the point in looking at them.
Military interdiction. Please submit.
But if you feel that way, I don't understand why you don't just play open. Like,
because I don't want what I don't like. This is my problem with open, is that I want to choose not when I'm being attacked, because that's not quite the same thing. I want to choose when I am allowing myself to be attacked. I don't want to be in the position.
You're not in a Thargoid situation. Like, if they were explicitly hostile and just yanked you out and shot the shit out of you, you'd have no fucking say in that.
No, that's what I kind of want in a way. It pisses me off though, because I'm usually doing something else.
You get that with people.
I don't want. Yeah, but
no worries. You get that with people.
Yeah. But Thargoids are enemies. Our Thargoids are going to kill you. That's their sole purpose in life. They are there to kill you, and you're not going to survive. You're screwed. But what I don't like. Yeah, but you don't find Thargoids trying to pull you out of fucking. I've seen people, like when you go to a CG or you go to anything where there's people, you've got the gankers. They come along and they'll just pick off everyone one by one, and it's like, why? I don't see the point in that. There's no reward for shooting somebody in a Sidewinder. There's no reward at all. I mean, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be possible, because you're never going to stop that. That's not going to happen. But I don't know.
That's just, there's assholes everywhere. Is the issue? There are plenty of people who play.
Yes, there is. There's you.
Rules, like their own rules of engagement. Plenty of people who do that. And there are plenty of people who go out and hunt those fucking people who are constantly targeting the asshole in the Sidewinder, trying to fucking make his first 100 grand. Like, I remember, but I stood up and shot at those fuckers. Like, I turned around and went and got a Viper and then a Courier and then
was that before or after Engineers?
Before I had a Vulture before Engineers.
I did it before Engineers as well. It was a fair fight.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. Engineering fucked up all of
that's
PvP.
Why no one plays
the entire balance.
I've read it time and time again. If there was no Engineers and if things were exactly as they were before, I'd probably play an open, because I would have a fair shot at shooting back, because that's how it should be. But there is no chance in hell am I going to fight. The only people who seem to do the ganking are those with the ridiculously overpowered ships.
It's people who have no life. It's the rule of video games. The less life you have, the more powerful you are.
Mm-hmm. I play Mobius. I've played there for many years, and I've yet to have any problems. And to me, that's how I like the idea of playing in that environment. But my point, you see, this is what I'm trying to get at, right? Is that it is too safe. The world, the universe of Elite right now. It's dangerous to me for all the wrong reasons. It's not dangerous because it's a dangerous place. It's dangerous because of people who just like shooting people. That's to me isn't a good enough reason. So I would love to see this. Right. So tomorrow, literally, right tomorrow, those space stations that we saw being attacked. Oh dear, they're on fire. Shame. They'll be fine. No, they're gone. Burnt. Disappeared. Bye bye. Thar guys have thought, fuck you. That's it. They're going to just destroy more. And you'll be like, oh, okay, that's a bit more of a consequence. What's going on here then? And then Thargoids start pulling everybody out of witch space. Everybody. You go into witch space, you've got a 50% chance of being killed. Every single player, not just the people who got weak little ships, people who in big mammoth kill everything ships.
Oh yeah, they need to do some serious
That's what they need
for this game. Burn the bubble is not just a joke. I would love to see it fucking on fire. The whole 500 light year fucking radius turned into an end game raid zone where you only go if you're fucking ready. There's 20 systems inside that bubble that you can go and not get completely fucking mangled.
I think we would see with carriers now. And with all sorts of system chat and stuff, more ways for people to interact across, solo and open and private group, which I think is great.
I agree.
But I think if the bubble burned now, the issue before is that you had, let's say, Johnny, 4 hours into the game, man, in a Viper or whatever, he would just be sort of stuck in the bubble. However, now you could have rescue efforts funneling people from the bubble to Colonia, where it would be theoretically safe, I suppose, or out into maybe a second bubble would form, or an Aegis protected bubble where it would be safe, or something. But you would have natural player responses that would be a positive impact on the game and a positive impact on new players that we just do not have in the game right now.
Do you not think that if the bubble was burned and the Thargoids and maybe another species come from somewhere, I don't know, and they were like, no, we were hellbent on destruction, we're going to take over all your star systems and we're going to burn you all to the ground. Don't you think that what would happen in this case is that all the players would think, we probably need to band up together to sort this out?
I would bother learning Thargoid combat. I haven't done that.
No.
I've never touched Thargoid combat. There's no reason to.
They made it optional.
Yeah.
It's too optional.
Yeah.
It's optional because it's too difficult.
Too.
But
they should not have made all of the weapons fixed. That is a massive fucking wall.
I hate fixed weapons in this game.
Anyway, fucking mobility disabled community.
Yeah.
Has been told, fuck you, you can't do this.
I tried once fighting against those, the little ones, the scouts? Is it scouts?
Yeah.
They just wiped my ass in about 30 seconds.
They move so fast.
Use regular gimbaled weapons on. It's the fucking interceptors you have to use.
The interceptors and the Medusas, is that the other one?
The interceptors is the whole class of
right, okay. Right.
Yeah, you got the Medusas and all that lot. They can just die in the fire because there's no point in even trying with them. This is the thing. Yeah. I'm not some sort of combat specialist. I don't know the tiny little tricks of doing this, that, and the other. Yeah. I can fight a pirate. That's no bother.
Yeah, they locked out too much of the game.
They did far too much. They should have made it. It's a story for you. A quick story. There's a very, 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 very old game called Gemstone 3. You'll never ever heard of it. It's a text-based multi-user dungeon. Very first RPG in the world. A wonderful game, all text based. It's like playing a text adventure, but you were it was a multiplayer game. Wonderful game. Okay. Anyway, they brought in, which I thought was a stroke of genius, this sudden invasion of these monkey type creatures. I forget what they're called now, and no one paid too much attention to it until they went into different places of the game, and you just it's literally north, south, east, west, up, down, that sort of shit,
Yeah.
And you go through maps. It's a big area, and all of a sudden you see a white-coloured monkey monster, what it was called, and you think, "Holy shit!" Because the next thing, because in real time, it's not like a turn-based thing; it's in real time. The next thing you see is you died, and you're like, "I didn't even get a chance to say hello." But they did it color-coded, so a black one would come along, it would hit you for 3 damage, and you're thinking, right, you cunt, you're going down. So you do the same thing back. You go for your spells and you kill it, and eventually you can knock it out, and you think, damn, that was good. And then there was a world message appeared saying that this I killed one of these monsters, sort of things. I don't know how the law behind that was, but there was a world message that everyone could see, and it was like that was a really good thing. It was a dynamic.
It was a door game, right?
Huh?
It was a door game, right?
Door.
BBS.
No. Hang on. Was it that far back?
Like, were you dialed in on your fucking 28.8?
Oh, it probably was that far back, but I think I had broadband at the time. It was going back way back though. Yeah, it was that sort of game. But there was like,
yeah, I used to play games like that all the time. Those are fucking great. Like they have never been able to get. Like, if they could get this to the level of Baron's Realms Elite, that would be fucking amazing.
The atmosphere in those games.
I own the planet. I have fucking upgraded the planetary defense cannons on this shit. Try it, motherfucker. Try it.
I mean, the sense of... I'll tell you what else I miss as well, is the sense of being belonging in a group of people that there was no murdering in that game. Not because... You couldn't, you just didn't, because you went to jail. If you murdered somebody in a place where there was people, you went to jail, and you were in jail, and you couldn't leave that jail for hours.
That would be fucking hilarious if there was like a consequence to fucking I think crime and punishment, and that like you had to spend X number of in-game hours harvesting shit in your SRV.
And I tell you what, they want that should be in the game. I reckon that should be in the game, or you should be given missions, anything at all, and you cannot do anything else. You can't. I don't know how they do it, but I think the SRV thing is the best thing. You get dumped on the planet, right? You ain't getting shit back. Go and fucking mine. I think that's the best thing they could do.
It'd be great. Like, you're all right. You're here for piracy and escape pod theft. You're on salvage duty, motherfucker.
2 hours starting now. Off you go.
Nope.
You know what?
Just had a crash out in this sector. Get driving. No, you're not taking the Viper. Fuck you. Drive.
That is the best solution. That is it. That you've won the game. That's it. You've saved Frontier. That's what you've done there. I can't think of anything better. A penal colony on a planet. What a fantastic idea. Even something as mundane as, right, you go and mine salt for 2 hours. Off you go. Just mine salt.
Well, they'll be able to do it in Odyssey.
Absolutely.
If fucking A.
What a fantastic idea.
One of the things I would really like to get off the ground, and then like I've been trying to build support for it among like the people out in Colonia, is to get Frontier to designate a spot out there as an on-foot advanced start. For like, I want to make an alternate character. I've been playing this shit for 5 years.
I also agree.
I need a little bit of a challenge. Let me start out in the ass end of absolute fucking nowhere on the ground and work my way up.
Yeah, I don't particularly want to start where I am now. That's how I don't would ever do
my
that.
alt will definitely be if they can do it. Like, I've already put this in fucking Benedetti's head, so hopefully it goes somewhere.
I'd pay a £10, $10. Give me another character slot. What's wrong with that? Why can't they do that? Because the only reason they won't do it is pure greed. There's no need to make you buy a completely different account now. They got arcs. They've got ways of making money.
Well, see, that's just them being assholes, as far as I'm concerned.
I think so.
Because on Xbox, I can just fucking pop up another fucking account on my shared gold and just go and I have a new character.
Yeah, it's not it's to make it sound pathetic, but it's not fair.
Oh, I know, but you know what? You get to play games for free without paying a subscription every month. What are you trying
to imply?
is that the PC Master Race comes with its trade-offs.
Okay, fair dues. I mean, I don't like the idea of having to pay a subscription so you can go online. I think that was the most devious thing that console manufacturers have ever done.
Oh, I get it. I fucking hate it. I really miss being able to just connect to somebody's server and fucking play a goddamn game I own. But it does have its benefits. I've got built-in voice communications. I've got hosted servers, for most games.
I don't like consoles because I don't like consoles, just because I don't see the point in them myself, because I've got a PC. I would think differently if I didn't have one, I suppose.
I get it. It's mostly I don't have the funds to keep up.
Nor do I, but
I can buy a console. And that is guaranteed to be at least playable for 5 years, and games will keep coming out for it.
Yeah.
It works for me.
The thing about consoles as well, I think, especially now, is they are really catching up. I mean, yes, you can spend, what is it now, £650 on a brand new graphics card for your PC, or you can buy a Xbox Series X with all the trimmings for about the same money, and you're going to get probably a far nicer gaming experience if you don't want to start pissing about with drivers and settings and all that sort of crap.
That is it.
I can't disagree.
And just usability of it. They very rarely fuck up.
Well, I work for PlayStation.
In my experience, totally in my experience, I have never encountered a seriously catastrophic fuck up that
Anthem
have encountered on
Anthem
a PC.
Anthem was the worst fuck up in history. If you've never heard of the game or never seen what happened.
Oh no, I owned it. I bought it. I was there.
Tragic.
I was there day one.
Tragic.
Fucking mess. It's horrible. I'm waiting for 2.0 and hoping.
You should see it from my side. I had to take all the phone calls from people who were pissed off that they couldn't play their game that they spent 50 quid on. And I had to sit there and say, well, I can't help because nothing to do with us because we didn't rate it. But how long did that take? A month before it was eventually playable?
I only know about it because so many people in the Warframe community, Warframe community likes to say it's better than two other communities, and that's the Destiny community and the Anthem community.
Well, that's not difficult really, because they're both shit games, so that's all right.
They are.
Destiny was a waste of time, and Anthem, well, it didn't really go anywhere, did it? Let's be fair.
I wanted Anthem to be good. The flight model is really cool. The game
Anthem has a flight model?
Well,
Anthem is all about
jumping around, aren't you? Flying, you're being a robot thing. And
right, okay. Yeah,
guy in Iron Man.
Yeah, their concept was for. Do you know what game did Titanfall? What a game!
Oh, I love Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 1 and 2. Titanfall 2 was a masterpiece, and no fucker played it.
Victims of their own success. They're now victims of their own success because they dropped a zero marketing fucking bombshell with Apex, and now EA is like, "Oh, you're doing nothing else but, sir. Welcome to your life."
Here's the great thing about Titanfall 2, though. That's happened recently. They released it on Steam for $30, and it goes down to like $5 on sale. Yeah, you can get it for so insanely cheap.
So many people are fucking playing Titanfall after Apex.
I may have to get back into that actually, because I love Titanfall 2. What a game! Yeah. The single player campaign was absolutely immense.
That was wonderful.
What a game!
One of the few first person
BT Anderson in the ceiling.
Actually tolerate playing on a controller.
See, I don't consider myself good at first-person shooters, and Titanfall 2 is one of the few that I can actually I actually enjoy.
That is my biggest complaint about consoles is the
Gimped by a controller.
lack of peripheral choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it, and I hate people's fucking argument that it's not fair. It's like, fuck you, buy the wheel. You know, like, let me buy the mouse. I'll go buy the joystick for the fucking flight game because I know it's dog shit with a controller. Like, I don't understand people's nonsense.
Microsoft has almost proven you can design a realistic flight simulator that works on controllers. Microsoft Flight Simulator apparently it's perfectly fine on a controller.
It's perfectly fine with mouse as well.
I'm sure.
It's not realistic though.
It's lacking the high envelope stuff.
Whatever you fucking want without having to buy a $300 hack from some German company or some fucking $400 adaptive controller nightmare that no one's got any documentation for. And I got to plug shit in and start playing with code. You know,
why can't I just plug in a mouse and a keyboard?
Finally getting to that point, but it's such a fucking struggle with these shitheads in the fucking general community of the fucking console arena. It's like, you know, cheaters with your mice. It's like, fuck you. I'm arthritic, motherfucker. Let me have my mouse.
Mind you, have you seen, do you ever watch The Spiffing Brit?
A little, not much.
Yep. Probably one of the funniest guys on the internet, and he did what I watch it every so often. If I'm feeling a bit depressed, I watch it just because it makes me piss myself. He got, what was it, Call of Duty mobile version, but he played it with a mouse and keyboard. It was fucking hilarious. He just wandered around, pom 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 pom, dead. You can't shoot me because you can't aim at your fucking screen, can you? You don't tom. It's the same thing, isn't it? You have got an advantage over people with a joystick game control if you got a mouse.
Let me use the fucking thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I don't care.
The thing I don't get about people that say it's cheating, you see in let's say IL-2 or DCS, these combat flight sims that are heavy on the peripheral side of things. You can buy a Logitech Extreme 3D Pro for $30. Well, before Microsoft Flight Simulator, you could. Now they're like 100. It's insane.
Yeah, suddenly everything gone up in price and unavailable. I did find that funny.
But let's just say before Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can buy entry level equipment for a flight simulator, not necessarily head tracking, not necessarily, top of the line stuff, for $30 to $60. And that's perfectly acceptable. And then you can start playing with that. You can start playing with, using a hat switch to look around and stuff like that. No one who plays at that level goes on to say that people with head tracking are cheating, or people with, like my very nice gunfighter joystick.
No, it's just
no one says that's cheating.
Someday I'd like to have this so I can do this.
Exactly. I don't understand where people in consoles where you can buy a $30 mouse or a $10 mouse and just
it's available to everyone.
Exactly,
anyone can get it.
Yeah,
it's dumb.
Yeah, but they're not elite.
It's not RPG enough.
Exactly. You got to be OG. If you're not OG, you're cheating. Sorry, I don't agree with that at all.
Official Razer monstrosity Microsoft partnered up and put out. Jesus fucking Christ, that thing. It's like, God damn it, man! Can't I just get a black keyboard and a laser mouse with a few extra fucking buttons on it? That's it.
Do you know what makes it like? It's just a USB device. It's nothing special. You could plug it in and it would just work. But no, they won't do it because they don't want to upset the people who might complain. I mean, I remember when they had oh god, now which game was it? Was it Gran Turismo? One of the games eventually had wheel support, and I remember reading forums. I didn't play the game. I just happened to read the forums about that particular game when the wheel came out, and they were complaining because, oh my god, they got wheels. That's not fair. I haven't got a wheel. Why should I have to suffer? It's like,
and that's fucking hate gaming.
Do you guys realise it's like, well, my time is 12:30 midnight, and we've been doing this for 2 hours. I've actually been recording it as well.
I was going to say.
We should just use this as a podcast and be done with it.
I mean, we talked about having the out of character thing. We could totally keep this on hand as like a behind the scenes or out of character podcast.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'm gonna run it as the out of character. I'm fine.
We've done nothing weird in this podcast, this recording. So yeah, I might just do that for a laugh.